Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel Pharmacypedia. This is Dr. Shikha Chauhan and in this session we are going to discuss about measures of dispersion. In my previous video we discussed about methods of calculating the mean, mode and median. So in this session we are going to further discuss about the range, we are going to discuss about the variance and standard deviation. So first let us try to understand what is dispersion and what is the different applications of dispersion. If you have still not subscribed to my channel Pharmacypedia, please do like, share and subscribe to my channel Pharmacypedia for getting further updates and important informations. My dear students, in the last session we discussed about central tendency. Central tendency in terms of the mean, in terms of the mode and median. We can calculate mean by two ways, arithmetic mean and geometric mean and harmonic mean. So we discussed about the arithmetic mean. So now you can understand calculating the middle values in a group of data is very important so that you come to know where the whole story rotates about. So to understand the data much more completely, it is very necessary to know how the numbers of the data set arrange themselves. About the central value. My dear student, dispersion is highly related to the median value. Dispersion is related to the mean value. So when you have a set of data, when you have a group of data, we are more focused about the mean so that we understand how far the data deviates, how far the data disperses and how far the data spreads out. So dispersion simply means spreading out, it simply means dispersing, it simply means what is the range. So if I say if the dispersion is 0, it simply means that there is a single digit and there is neither positive side nor the negative side. So my dear students, how far the data spreads depends on the range, depends on the magnitude of the differences when a certain value deviates from the mean value. For example, if I have a set of data, for example 1 to 10, so 5 is the mean. If I have the mean 5, so 1 to 5 number will lie on one side, then 6 to 10 will lie on the another side. So this will give you the complete dispersion. So if it is better when we have a production, we always want the dispersion to be 0 so that the batch to batch uniformity can be maintained. So it is very important to understand how the data spreads out, what is the range and how stable are the values in the groups. So to understand this, we need another set of the descriptive tools, and to calculate the power of the dispersion, we can clearly understand them by the various technical terms like variance, standard deviation, range. So they are the characteristics which are used to further describe the spread, variation and scatter of a series of values. So the series can consist of an observations or total population. So when I say observations or samples, its samples are really a small part of the complete population. So you can say the values can be grouped or it may be ungrouped. So these are the four ways by which we actually describe the data. Mean deviation, variance, standard deviations are the three measures of the dispersion which are totally based on the calculation of the mean. So how far your values deviate from the mean will simply give you how far the curve is spread out. So when there is a more spread, it simply means more variability, more deviation from the mean value. If there is low spread and your peak is, you can see there are both, one is the broad peak and second is the closed peaks. So when I say the broad peak, it is far spread out, it is having more dispersion. Simple. When you see the long curve, you can see that the dispersion is less as compared to the broad peak, and this less dispersion simply means that in terms of pharmaceutical, you can say the products are more stable and you have less variability. So when we talk about the data dispersion, we talk in four terms. The first is the range, second is the interquartile ranges, variance and standard deviation. So let us first try to understand the range. So range is very simple to calculate. You have a group of data, you arrange the data in the ascending order, you know the minimum value, you know the maximum value, you simply subtract the minimum value from the maximum value, and whatever value you get, that becomes the range. So you can see this is the example which is being given out here. The range is simply calculated by seeing the minimum value, by seeing the highest value, and when you're subtracting the minimum value from maximum value, it gives you the range. Ranges are affected by the extremes of the values. Now talking about the another part of the dispersion, which is interquartile range. When we talk about the interquartile range, we talk about the percentiles, quartiles. So there are basically four: 25th, 50th and 75th percentiles of the data. So interquartile range is the distance between the 25th and the 75th percentile. So again, it is very simple to calculate. It is you are basically having a set of the data. You take the first median value. The one after that you calculate, again divide it into two parts. So the first one becomes the 25%, second one becomes another 25%, third one becomes 20. So the first one is referred to as Q1, Q2, Q3 and Q4. So each is having the percentage ratio of 25%. Talking about the standard deviation. Now, my dear student, this is one of the most important aspect when we talk about the dispersion. So standard deviation is basically the measurement of the variation. It is in simple terms, you can say that dispersion is measured in terms of the standard deviation. So from the mean, how far the values of the data range are deviating will give us the standard deviation. So it can be simply said it is a description of the average distance of individual observations from the group mean. So I told you each value, how much it is being deviating from the mean of that particular data or that particular series. Each value, how much it is deviating will give you the deviation part. So conceptualizing it, is standard deviation is always designated by the term S. So or any of the measures of the variance is more difficult than understanding the concept of central tendency. So from one point of view, however, the S is very similar to the mean, that is, it represents the mean of the squared deviation. Taking the mean and the standard deviation together, a sample can be described in terms of its average score and in terms of its average variation. So simply when we calculate the deviation, we are seeing how far the values of the every observation is deviating from the mean and how dispersed is our data. So the less concentrated the data, it is more stable. If the spread is more, it simply means that that there is more variation and it may result into instability. Talking about the standard deviation further, it is best used when mean is used as a measure of the center. This is the formula, my dear students, which is being used for the calculation of standard deviation. So you first calculate the x bar, which is the total sum divided by the number of observations, and you calculate each observations from this x bar divided by n minus 1. So you can see square root of the sigma x minus x bar squared divided by n minus 1. So again, it is affected by the extreme observations. So this is what I was talking about. You can see there the graph in terms of three terms. First is known as, so whenever your graph is normal, it will have half of the values one side and half of the values on the another side of this curve. So you can see the normal distribution curve is bell-shaped curve whereby half of the observations lie on one side and so it is a highly symmetrical distribution. So now there again can be two cases. The first is the negatively skewed. Skewed simply means it is asymmetrical. So it can be negatively asymmetrical or positively asymmetrical. So when we say the negatively asymmetrical, you can see the graph how it looks like. You have the first mean, then median and mode. Whereas when you see the positively skewed, you first get the mode, median and then the mean. So it is representing your positive direction. Always remember skewness means the asymmetry. Now talking about the different application and characteristics of the standard deviation, it is very important in helping out the correlational analysis. For example, if I give you the data, you can simply tell me how much deviation you can observe from the mean of each values. So you can simply tell me, if I give you two groups of the data, which data is more stable, which data is closely dispersed, which data is largely dispersed. The standard deviation is the most widely used estimation of variation because it is based on the algebraic properties and its amenability to use with other statistics. Moreover, it also provides a better estimation of the variation because we are more concerned with the the deviation from the mean here. The numerical value of the standard deviation is likely to fluctuate less from sample to sample than the other indexes. Now talking about further applications, in certain circumstances, probability statements that characterizes a series or sample or observation, it is found that standard deviation of the series or the sample can be observed easily. So when the standard deviation of any sample is small, the sample mean is close to any of the value. So you can easily understand when there is a closed curve, that means that all the observations are having less deviation from the mean value. Talking further about another important factor which is being used to measure the dispersion is the variance. So variance and standard deviations are related out. When we represent the standard deviation by S, we represent the variance by sigma. So the variance is the sum of the squared deviations from the mean divided by the number of values in the series minus 1. So you can again see the formula. It is this sample variance is equal to S square. S here represents the standard deviation. So you can see the when you in the standard deviation calculation it was the square root, but it is the here the S squared. So it becomes sigma x minus x bar squared divided by n minus 1. So the same formula, and you have removed out the square root part. So it is the sum of the squares. Now what is the application of calculating the variance? When we talk about the variance, we are actually utilizing the standard deviation. So first we have to calculate the standard deviation, and then we can very easily calculate out the variance. So variance is again mathematically, and its value found outside the range of the observed values in a data set. The variance is generally of greater importance to statisticians than to researchers, students, clinicians trying to understand the fruits of data collection. We should note that the sample variance is a squared term. So it is not so easy to fathom in relation to the sample mean. Thus the square root of the variance, the standard deviation, is desirable. Now let us try to sum up the differences between variance and the standard deviation. So variance is the square root. In the standard deviation we have the square root part formula, whereas in the variance we have this, it is the S square. So whatever you have the standard deviation, when you are having the square root, S square is being calculated out in variance. So variance simply represents the statistical measure of how far the numbers are spread in a data set from the average, whereas when we talk about the standard deviation, it is a measure of the dispersion of the values in a given data relative to their mean. So again variance helps in the determination of the size of the data spread, whereas the standard deviation measures the absolute variability of the dispersion. Variance is one of the key aspects of asset allocation in investing portfolios. Standard deviations can be used as a measure of market and security volatility in finance. So my dear students, I hope you are now clear about the differences between variance and standard deviation. So you can see that first we have to calculate the standard deviation, and second we have to calculate the variance by doing S square. My dear students, one more thing I want to tell over here is that what is the purpose of studying this? When we learn statistics, we have to ultimately apply it when we talk about in terms of the production terms. For example, if there are two more companies or more than two companies, you can simply calculate the deviation. Deviation means whatever desirable properties you desire in terms of your mean product. So how far your values are deviating from that. So if you have a close peak, it simply means that your variability is less, and if you have a broad peak, it means the dispersion is more, that may results into the more variability from your standard product. So this type of the statistics analysis can be highly useful in pharmaceutical industry as well. Thank you for watching my video. Please do like, share and subscribe to my channel Pharmacypedia for getting further updates. Thank you so much.